1. This is Thursday, September 19th, 2019, pre-algebra. We are going to go over the chapter review today and tomorrow. Today, we're going to go over what you did for last night. We're going to do more today, so when you come in tomorrow, Cam Shiba is going to ace the test. By the way, has anybody noticed anything strange about the dates this week? Has anybody noticed anything strange about the dates all week this week at school?
99999.
All week, not just today. I know you see a lot of nines up there today, but has anybody noticed anything strange about the dates all week at school? We're going to mix a little math and language. See?
They all call me 19.
Monday, what was the date Monday? If today's Thursday, the 19th, what was the date Monday? 16th. So Monday was, my first hint to you is, we're going to mix a little math and language to start our day today. Monday was the 16th. What was Tuesday then?
17.
What was Wednesday? Does anybody notice a pattern? Has anybody noticed anything kind of strange about the dates all week this week? Today, of course, is the 19th. My first hint was we're mixing a little language with math today. My next hint is, would be, do we have a Hannah in here? No Hannahs. No Annas.
Oh.
No Hannahs. No Annas. We have a Bob. We don't have a mom. We don't have a dad. Sydney. What do we call a word? Sydney's got. What do we call a word that is spelled the same forward and backward? Anybody remember that weird word? Like Hannah, Anna, Bob, Mom, Dad. Remember that?
I know.
It's called a palindrome. Remember hearing that word before?
Yeah.
It's always a hard word to remember. Palindrome is a word that, so look at the dates all week. 9, 16, 19. 9, 17, 19. 9, 18, 19. 9, 19, 19. Just the dates all week this week are the language aspect is, they're called palindromes.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Like the name Hannah, Hannah, backwards, Hannah. Just a little something different to start our math. Race car, very good. Race car is the same way.
I see what you did there.
What is it?
Taco Cat.
Taco cat. So, nothing major, just a fun little thing to start the day. All right, here we go. We did 1 through 10 yesterday together, right? Or 1 through 9?
10 through
1 through 9 we did together. Number 10. You just simply had to answer which age group has the most volunteers. Spencer, quick. 35 to 44. It took nothing other than, hey, you've got your information nice and organized on a table, and you just had to pick the biggest number, right? And if you were to make that into a graph, it would make it almost even easier because you would just have to look at who had the higher bar, right? Or in this case, histogram bar, because they all be connected, frequency. Number 11, can you determine the number of volunteers who are teenagers? From this information, from this table of information, David, are you able to ascertain who among the volunteers are teenagers? David's still not ready. Cam?
No, because it's like a group of people, not like specific, like 40-year-olds, 15-year-olds.
Right. It takes you from 15 to 24. Well, the teenagers stop at 19. Make sense? So hopefully 10 and 11 were quick answers for you. Number 12 through 14, evaluate. 16 plus 5 times 3 plus 8. What did you have to remember to do on 12, 13, and 14? Spence. Take those off. Order of operations. So what'd you get, Spencer? If you did not get 39, you cannot leave here today, school today, if you have study hall sometime, or when you start working on today's work, ask me. If you didn't get 39, you can't leave until you figure out how we got 39. 39, not now, when we're done. Mark it, number 13. What'd you get for 13, Preston? The answer is 1. If you did not get 1, you need to mark that and not leave today until you figure out why you didn't get 1. Number 14. Micah. 22. If you did not get 22, you got to mark that and can't leave today until you figure out how the answer is 22. Number 15. Dominic.
$37.
$37. If you did not get $37, you got to figure out where you went wrong. Number 16. Lauren. 3. Number 17. Z. 4. Number 18. The answer is not 5. Number 18. Somebody knew? Somebody knew. Noah. 21. Number 19. Somebody knew? Seth. 72. Mark these as you miss them. Don't sit there and say, oh, I missed that one. I hope it goes away. No. Mark it and fix it so you do well tomorrow. And number 20. Somebody knew. Lauren. Yeah. Didn't you have your hand half up?
No, I didn't.
Oh. Spence. No. Anybody get something besides 36 miles? Dominic.
58 miles.
58 miles. Again, if you don't understand how you didn't get those right, we got to fix that before you leave. Right now, you're going to start working on 21 through 35. Actually, I'm hoping you get done with 21 through 35 so that everything on pages 46 and 47 you feel confident about, because if that's the case, you should feel very confident coming in tomorrow. Go ahead. Preston. I think somebody already grabbed it. David, pass that tape to someone else. Why so? How long have you had that off?
Fine.
How long have you had your thing off? Probably like a week.
I'm playing today.
I just downloaded this.
She got it off.
She's playing today.
It's been off for over a week.
I just.
Wow.
I noticed yesterday. So
No, that's fine. No. Oh, yeah.
What? You guys got a bunch of tests tomorrow?
We have 5. We have 5.
Okay. So if we accomplish what we want to accomplish today, and we leave here with everybody feeling comfortable about these 2 pages, well, then you can almost cross off math as something to worry about and concentrate on the other ones.
No, really.
Yeah, really. Because this is it.
Well, we
If
still
you have this down pat, you got it. I'm saying you can cross off math. Okay, as you're working, I will take questions about
Wait, what page?
anything from last night or today. So I noticed that we got some wrong answers. Upon further review, if you still don't get it, you got to raise your hand, because most likely in a group of 26 or 29, if one person doesn't understand it, most likely there's at least one other, if not 5. Kiara.
I got 18 and 19 and I don't get how I got them wrong.
Okay, 18 and 19 you got wrong. Okay, so we got 5y minus 6x. X is 4, y is 9. Y is 9, right? So we go 5 times 9 minus 6 times 4. What is 5 times 9?
45,
And what is 6 times 4?
44.
So you have to do the multiplication first, then you subtract. And that's how they got 20.
36, and it's my second one. I was thinking 6 times 4 is 36.
There you go. So, see what happened there? A lot of times after you go back and look at it, you realize you made a simple computation error that of course you knew, but it kind of just was a slight error. So you knew what you were doing. The important thing is, Kiara, you knew you had to multiply first, right?
Yeah.
So that's why tomorrow when you take the test, what does Mr. Franken always do? Did you check it? And students, this is their idea of checking it. Looking at it. And making sure they answer them or something. Well, Kiara, if this would have happened to her on the test tomorrow, and she didn't check it, if she really checked it, if she had time, she would have gone through and said, wait a minute, why did I put 6 times 4 is 36? You know, and it was an easy mistake to make because she was just talking about a 9, and then there was a 6 times 4. So that could happen. So you'd be able to fix that if you actually checked it. Now, is today a special theme day and then tomorrow's one too? Or is this like a Thursday thing?
Today, and then October 7th is Camo Day.
Camo Day. Okay, how did this come about?
No
Okay, so maybe you should let me know. I could have tried that.
We didn't even know ourselves until last night. We already gave away all of our
Okay, cut. Here's the problem. Mr. Franken says something, and then that's like, everybody thinks it's open season to talk. Right, Elise? I'm still waiting on questions. That can't be the only question. As we went through those from yesterday, there was more than that missed. Lauren,
What are all the questions to do right now?
you're finishing page 47. Cam.
I think it's 13 or 14, right?
Okay, 13. You have brackets, and then you have parentheses inside the brackets. So we have to work from inside out, the innermost bracket. So we got 40 divided by 14 plus 6. And then what is it, times 2?
Yeah.
Is that what it looks like? Okay, so we go inside these brackets, Cam, and we go to the innermost grouping. Remember we said that we learned PEMDAS, and then some people call it GEMDAS because instead of saying the word parentheses, they say the word grouping because it could be parentheses or brackets. It's kind of the same thing. So we got to go to the inmost part. We get 40 divided by 20 times 2. That's 40 divided by 40. And that's how they got 1. 14 plus 6 is 20. Make sense?
Yeah.
And then 14, Cam, that's the one that gives us a little trouble because when we read 60 divided by 31 minus 26, our brain wants to say, well, you got to do the division first, but what are you going to divide by until you figure out, because there's no parentheses there, but what are you going to divide by? Right? So it's 31 minus 26 is 5. So 10 plus 12 gives you 22. David, I thought you had the tape to start with.
I did it.
What is it?
Because we have last minute people that were trying to scurry to get their book covered. They were even willing to pay to get their book covered.
$3 that goes to the mission. I would not do that. I had.
Why would it?
Now, be assured you're not paying Mrs. Reed. That's going to something beneficial mission-wise. So,
Or you can just take it and ruin his Bible book.
who?
He's going like this to the Bible book and stuff. It literally has holes all in the pages. He was ripping it out.
Okay. Be sure. Come on, give me questions. I get lonely.
You can just do the word
Evelyn, is there anything about the information in chapter 1 that you're not sure of? Don't make me beg and plead to help you. Dina, you know I'm here to help you, right?
Yeah, you
That's
just
like
wanna
my
do the
whole
word-
reason to be here.
But do you just want the math done because you can do it?
No, I don't want to do it for you. I want to help you
Wait,
understand.
did you say you did want to do it for me? Because I'm okay with that.
Well, Dina, that's not good to be okay with that.
I don't want to do it.
You can do mine while you're at it.
You cannot do mine because then you have way too much homework.
Ev? Oh. Wait, did you have this little thing in your brain just now that said, no, I better not ask that. Someone might think I'm not.
No.
Okay. All right. Because remember, the only stupid question, John, is
The one that.
when it wasn't asked.
I don't know.
Now, how many times can your teacher say this? You have a test tomorrow, and your teacher is constantly asking you, almost pleading with you to make sure you ask, to sit there and leave this class today and not know what's going on or how to tackle all these problems is silly, is ridiculous. Cam, thank you.
I just want to know, for 17,
Yeah,
it was like the last one. Is the answer 4?
the answer's 4. Good job.
Do we have to write out the stuff in 25 and 26?
25.
I'm writing it.
Okay, at this point, here's the thing. If you don't do what I did, see what I did with these problems, right? I took the 5y minus 6x and I filled them in to get my final answer. So my answer to you, is this one of those cases where you have to show your work? No, because we're not solving problems. When we get to solving, you're going to have to show me you got the answer for x. This is evaluating, and Mr. Franken likes to stress mental math. So here's my thing, Kara.
We're not doing
If you get it wrong, then you should have shown your work. I know that sounds really weird, but if you're trying to fly without writing it down and writing it out and you miss it, then my thing for you would be like, hey, write it out. I want you to practice mental math, but if you're not there yet, then you can't trust that. So,
25 and
right, it's the same thing, same kind of thing. For 25 through 27, you could, Kiara, sit there and go, 9 squared is 81. 81 divided by 3 is 27. But I wouldn't rely on that. I'd write it out.
27.
Jordan.
On 29, I think I know how to do it, but like I'm just making sure.
84 divided by something gives you 12. So if we go back to our math facts, 12 times something gives you 84. What's that something? 7.
Okay,
Outstanding.
I thought that's how we did it. But
Yep. Yes, ma'am.
on number 17, I got 3, but I just
Okay, so you got 9 plus 19 is 28, and 4 plus 3 is 7. So you know that, yeah, see, one of those things again, you're going to get used to Mr. Franken on test day saying, did you check it? And you can't just look at it and say you checked it, especially if you have time. Some of you will get done, and there'll be like 20 minutes left of class. And this really ugly thing in your life, in my life, in all the world's life, called pride, will keep you from actually checking it. It's really weird phenomenon. Like you got 20 minutes left, you got nothing else to do except waste time, and I'll say, did you check it? And you'll look at it. And you won't really actually go through the problems again to make sure you got them right, because this pride thing is going to keep you from doing it. Like, not me, I don't have to. I'm confident and secure in my... That's ridiculous. You got nothing else to do. Yes.
How'd you get 58 for 20?
Okay, number 20. After swimming 22 miles, the dolphin changes direction. It swims at a rate of 18 miles per hour. How many miles do you know the dolphin already swam? No? 22. Okay? So your starting point is the dolphin has already swum. Remember that from 5th grade grammar? The dolphin has already swum. Do you think that's wrong? Does anybody think I said it wrong?
No.
Yeah.
Swim. Today I swim. Yesterday I swam. And in the past I have swum. Same as drink, drank, drunk. Right? And that's the funny one. I have drunk that before. That's really how you're supposed to say it. Okay. We're doing a lot of language in math today. So the dolphin has already swum 22 miles. She's gonna. You can Google that later if you want. The dolphin has already swum 22 miles. Now, what else do they tell us? Now it's swimming 18 miles per hour, right, Jaden? Let's go to the heart of what they want. They want to know. They want to find the total distance traveled after 2 hours. So look, Jaden, it's already gone 22. Am I going to add to that? I'm going to add to that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to add to that 18 miles per hour for how many hours? 2. So it's 36 plus 22. Yes, ma'am.
Number 34.
All right, 34. The car travels at an average rate of 50 miles per hour for 3 hours. So how far does it travel? 50 times 3. Distance equals rate times time. They gave you the rate, 50 miles per hour, times the time. Gives you the distance. Yes?
So 26, did you get 1,270?
1,260. What'd you do first?
So first I did the parentheses.
So you got, what is 6 minus 3?
3.
Okay. Did you do 3 to the 5th after that?
Yes, I did.
What is 3 times 3
9,
times 3?
27.
No, listen.
No.
3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, times 3 is 81,
81.
times 3 is 243.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you got 5 times 243. Yes? What'd you get for that?
1,215.
1,215 plus 45.
I thought.
See, Nina, it's coming down to probably your...
Oh!
Yeah, you're doing
Yeah.
you're doing simple arithmetic things that you're messing up. That's why it's going to be very important for you to check. By the way, Johnny, Julia, Sawyer, I hope this is beneficial. I know you can't ask questions, but hopefully this is helping you as well. Yes?
I forget. How do you do the area of a square?
Area of a square. By the way, is a square a rectangle?
Yes.
Yes.
You hesitated.
Yes.
Is a square a rectangle?
Yes.
All right.
Sure. Why not?
It's a special rectangle, right?
Yeah.
But a rectangle is not necessarily a square. No. Okay, so I'll get you your answer. A rectangle is a parallelogram, parallelogram that makes 4 right angles. Parallel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we know that the area of a rectangle is length times width. All right? So if it's a square, it's a parallelogram that makes 4 right angles, so it is a rectangle, but it happens to have congruent sides. They're all the same. So we could look at that and say, hey, well then, the area of a rectangle, the area of a square is length times width. You'll get it both ways, because if you say this is 4 and that's 4, what's length times width? 4 times 4. So they change it to S squared.
Oh, yeah.
They just fancy it up, right?
Yeah.
Isn't length times width the same as the side times the side? So essentially, it's the same thing. But they give it a special formula for square because square is special. But you could get by finding the area of a square by just remembering length times width, because the area of a rectangle. So even if you forget this, you can still get the area because you know it's a rectangle. Length times width. Length, width. One side, that's all you got to know, LP, is one side and times it by itself because it's a square. They're all the same. Get it? Noah.
What are you like doing it on, like the camera? Like, what is it on?
So right now, the homeschoolers, Johnny, Julia, and Sawyer, they could either be watching right now, or once we're done and I stop it, I upload it, and I don't know if you guys are actually able to access it. I don't know. I thought I heard one of my younger students say they saw me on YouTube, but they I think have an access code that then if they can't watch it now, if they're not live with us, then anytime throughout the day, because they're homeschooled, they can just go on there and watch it. Yeah.
If they're watching it live, then they have like a chat for it, so they can actually.
Well, I don't know. We haven't done that yet. We haven't set that up yet.
I think most of
We were
them-
hoping. I think I was told that
Yeah, it's
maybe even there would be a way for me to hear them, but if they figure that out, they haven't told me yet.
FaceTime. Yeah.
Okay, let's keep the.
Hi, Joelle.
Good job. Keep the questions coming. This is very beneficial.
I can't figure out. Well, I know.
By the way, if you're done, it's pretty selfish of you to start disrupting and distracting when other people are trying to make sure they get done. Yes, Case. What is it? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Kiara.
I know how to do 98, but I just don't know how to put it
Wait, where you at?
30.
Number 30.
And then I don't know how to do.
Okay, so
Like, I know how
98
to do
minus something gives you 35,
yeah,
right?
I know, but I don't know how to put it.
What subtraction and addition undo each other? So if 98 minus something gives you 35, then 98 minus 35 gives you that something. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I
Look,
know, but
let's make it smaller numbers.
I don't know how to like write it.
7 minus 2 equals 5. 7 minus 5 equals 2, right? So if they say 98 minus something gives you 35, we haven't really learned the algebra yet. You did back in 5th grade, the real basics of it. But what we've done in chapter 1 is they said, hey, use any strategy to figure this out. What ultimately you would do, Miss Kiara, is you would add t to both sides and subtract 35 from both sides. And you would get t equals 63.
Oh, really? So that's what I have, but I don't know how to put it down. Like, I
Okay,
don't,
because we really haven't given you the, next week we start with the writing out the algebraic formulas for it. Like I said, what you would end up doing, Kira, is you would add t to both sides and you would subtract 35 from both sides. That might sound confusing now, but what you're doing right now is you're figuring it out mentally. And in chapter 1, they set up the algebra process by getting you to think, hey, there's a process. You know, they gave us that problem-solving plan. Algebra is about having a plan and following it to solve problems. Therefore, I answer the question again. Hey, why are we going to do algebra? We're never going to use it in life.
Yeah, we are.
No, you might not specifically use algebra in life, but you're building a repertoire of problem-solving strategies. And if you're a good problem solver, you're going to make a lot of money. Witness the teacher surveying the room, looking, pleading, begging for someone that doesn't have this 100% down pat to ask questions, looking at the prideful eyes of those that are smug and saying, I don't need any help at all. I'm going to get 100. And then hoping that's true tomorrow. But, yes, Dina.
okay, so for 30, it okay if I just wrote like 98 minus 55 because that's all I did?
That's it, 63, that's it,
Yeah.
right.
So that's okay because I don't have to write it down yet. That's what I did.
You did, you just said you wrote it down, 98 minus 35,
Not-
63.
I
Yes.
didn't write down like
The next time that it's gonna be like this with the week where.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. Palindrome.
Can't do it next time.
I mean, I'm sure if you Google it later, it'll say, hey, the next time this will happen is the year. I don't want to think about it right now.
I don't think it'll work in 2020.
No, because there's no months,
Yeah.
there's no 0 month.
Yeah, it won't.
So we gotta wait 2 years just for it.
It's going to be at least the year 21, I would think. Like you could go January 12th. No, I was going to say January 12th, 21. No.
No, because it would still be
Weird.
1, 2,
January, if you
1,
had
2,
12 last year, you could have 12, 12, 12. Like you could have all the same. That was the last year. I actually experienced that. That was, didn't a bunch of people get married that year? They could do that.
Probably. Yeah, I think I vaguely remember that.
I remember.
Micah, you could have easily
What?
sat down. What?
So if it's-
There are 5 minutes left.
February.
Ladies, gentlemen, please. There are 5 minutes left. I can't want to get an A more than you do. It's like I'm the one up there saying, come on, let's really do this. I'm not taking the test. You are asked. If there's anything, Elise, that you don't get asked, are you helping him? Are you helping him?
It's January 21st, 2021. If you write it out, it works. January 21st, 2021.
It's Thursday, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Listen, this was the dress rehearsal. This was your last practice before the big game tomorrow.
Okay, good. 'Cause I don't want homework.
Thursday is like the walkthrough for the big event on Friday night. I keep looking at Jordan Wright this week. So, hello! We're finishing today's algebra class as if the team, the high school teams that are playing Friday night, they finished their Thursday practice by going through everything they need to do against that particular team tomorrow night. And then they finish the practice. They're like, okay, we're all on the same page. We all got this. We just got to go out there tomorrow and execute. So when we get these problems that we know that the other team's going to do, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. Now, can we execute against what they're going to do? Can you handle the problems like these 2 pages and come in tomorrow because you're confident today leaving practice or the class and know you're going to be successful tomorrow? Because if that's not the case, you need to ask questions. Because before they leave the field today, they've got to be able to ask the question, hey, coach, you mean here? You want me here? You want me to go, you know what I'm saying? Or else they won't be successful. Do you want to be successful, Casey Schmeig? Okay, so if there's anything you don't understand, I got to know. So we can fix it for success. Because just like the coach feels really good when the players have success, so does the teacher. 3 minutes.
3?
Is your hand up or you just kind of testing? Okay. That kind of puts a wrap on pre-algebra. Test tomorrow.
Okay, so we don't have